Speedstrap's lineup of 2-inch tie downs are the best way to secure your Jeep, truck, buggy, or pre-runner. Each is built with high quality standards and materials, so these tie downs are built to last you for years. Here at Speedstrap, we know that every trailer setup is different and every vehicle setup is different. So we offer several different ways and options for tie downs so you can find the perfect setup for your vehicle. Each of these 2-inch tie downs is rated at 10,000 pounds max rated capacity and 3,333 pounds safe working load. The first one we're going to talk about today is our traditional hook-to-hook ratchet. This strap works really well if you're tying down just regular cargo and you have a good hook point or eyelet to go to. Or for some vehicles, some guys weld on tabs onto their chassis or onto their axle. That makes it really easy to hook that end to. If you don't have a dedicated hook point or dedicated eyelet on your vehicle, you can just use an axle strap like this to wrap around that axle or A-arm, take the hook, and hook it onto the end of that. Our next tie down is our 2-inch ratchet with a built-in axle wrap. Rather than buying this ratchet and the axle wrap by itself, we took the axle wrap and built it right into the end of this tie down, so it's really easy to wrap around an axle or an A-arm or any other good toe point. But if you need it, if you have a good hook point and want to use the hook on the end, you still can. One thing to know while using these tie downs with the axle straps is you always want to tie down on your vehicle as low and as close to the wheels as possible. And there's a good reason for this. If you're tying up high, up here in the bumper, up high somewhere else, that is above the shocks. So every single time you hit a bump, you go over railroad tracks and the car jumps up and down, it's floating up and down. And it's gonna pull on that strap and then loosen. Pull, then loosen, pull, then loosen every single time it takes a hit. Over time, this can cause your tie downs to come loose or come undone. The tire, however, doesn't move. It shouldn't be coming up off of the trailer and should be pretty much as hard of a mount as you can get. So, on a vehicle like this with the big A-arms, with most trucks, Jeeps, and a lot of buggies have, you want to try to get as close down to the tire as you can. Obviously though, this always kind of depends on how your vehicle is set up. The A-arms on this vehicle though are pretty beefy, especially down low. So for me, I'm probably gonna have to try to just finagle it in here in this center section. On most trucks and Jeeps kind of like this, you're gonna wanna tie down on the A-arm down here. Obviously, with fixed axles, they're gonna be attached to the tire, they're not gonna jump up as much. So just try to keep it as low as possible. Next up is our through the wheel tie down. This one, just a regular ratchet on this end with the hook to go down to your trailer. But on the long end, it has just a single D-ring on here. Just how we said that the tire is the one part on the vehicle that should never really be moving or jumping up on the trailer, why not attach directly to this with tie downs? So our through the wheel tie down is really simple and does just that. It attaches one side of the tire directly to the trailer. All it has is a long strap with just the end and then a D-ring sewn on one end. Take this end of the strap, run it through your tire. Pretty much every tire has some sort of area you can go through it. And by doing it with this side of the strap, you're not gonna run into issues of it hitting or scratching or not being able to fit that D-ring through. It also works really nice if you're having to run it around brake calipers or things like that. Once you have that end, take it and wrap it through the D-ring and then pull it tight. Take that end and kind of like you do almost every single time you use a tie down, run it through the strap, hook it to the trailer, and ratchet it down. While every vehicle can be different and have different tie down points on it, tires are pretty much always the same, and it's always pretty easy to find a way to get this tie down to work. It does a really good job of keeping the one side of the tire secure, so most of the time we run them on the fronts and the back, going forwards and backwards to keep the vehicle secure. And last, we have our 2-inch tire bonnet. This tire bonnet wraps around both sides of the tire and hooks down to the trailer, and is probably the most secure way to secure your vehicle. Rather than securing just one side of the tire, like the through-the-wheel tie-down does, the tire bonnet wraps around and secures both sides of the tire. We've worked for a while setting up our tire bonnets the way we want because we want them to be adjustable to fit the different size tires. A lot of other tire bonnets out there only fit a certain size tire, a 38 or a 36 or a 34 or 36. Ours, however, uses Sidewinder technology and is adjustable, so this tire bonnet can fit anywhere from a 26 up to a 40-inch size tire. How it works is you have a long strap here on this end with a D-ring. So the first time you set it up, you're gonna place the bonnet over the tire. You're gonna get both of these D-rings right about dead center in the tread. And you wanna make sure that your tire bonnet is sitting above halfway of the tire. If you go down too low and you get it tight, it can just slide down that way. So we have 3 different adjustment points up here. So depending on your size tire, if it's smaller or larger, you can adjust this higher or lower to get that height. On this D-ring up here, adjust it so this strap gets really, really tight as you can get it with that D-ring. And with the D-ring sitting right here, then go with your ratchet and tighten it down. How our Sidewinder technology works is that this strap runs around the back side to a D-ring. This strap runs around the front side to a D-ring. So when you ratchet it down, it pulls on the back and pulls on the front, and the entire thing gets super tight. One thing to note is that ideally, you want to tie this tire bonnet down as close to the tire and in line with the tire as you can. Obviously though, we know that not every trailer has that setup. A lot of times, your attachment points are way out far over to the side and they're hard to get, which is why we left extra strap on our tire bonnets so you can go out a little bit farther or go over a little bit to reach the tie down point that you need. The number one question we always get asked is what's the difference between our tie downs and some of the other ones you may find online? And the answer is the quality. Speedstraps are high quality tie downs that are built to last you for years. That difference starts with our ratchet mechanisms. They're all made from high quality steel with a finely tuned steel barrel and reinforced teeth so they're not gonna break off or chip as you're getting that last extra push on it. All of our ratchets come with this plastic hand molded red grip and rubberized release lever. So, especially on a hot day, you're not gonna burn your fingers on the bare metal or freeze them if you're back in the Midwest or somewhere cold. Each of these ratchets has a little notch here up in the front, so when you open it all the way up, it locks that release lever open and allows you to easily loosen the strap. Same thing on the back side over here. When you close this ratchet all the way, it locks in place so this handle can't come up or come undone randomly by itself. All of the webbing we use is a thick polyester that is water resistant and UV treated to help it maintain its life even when it's sitting out in the sun. All of our hooks are made from high quality steel, powder coated black, and feature this built-in retention clip so the hook can't randomly come undone or fall off. And last thing before you check out, grab one of our speed wraps. This is one of those small, inexpensive, dumb little items that makes a world of difference. You can use it to wrap around any excess strap you have on the trailer so it's not flying in the wind. Or my personal favorite, when I'm done for the day, I like to wrap it around my ratchets and keep them all together in a nice brick before I throw them in the bag so I don't have a big spaghetti mess of strap going everywhere. If you'd like to buy any of these tie downs, you can find them at your local authorized dealers or at speedstrap.com.